Back in the day, they called me Brad. I'm Brad. Let me tell you about something. We were thirsty. We wanted a nice cold drink, something to put over the cold boxes, the ice cubes. Back in the day, we got real thirsty. It was hot outside. The sun was shooting down bright hot sunlight onto the land. That's why I created Brad's drink. A drink you can drink, bubbly, tasty, ice cold, but they didn't like the name. They sat me down and they said, Brad, this name isn't going to last. I said to them, I'm Brad. And that's when it hit me. We'd call the drink Pepsi because it made my tummy feel better. It cures dyspepsia. That's when your stomach isn't good. And that's my story.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and guy who's doomed to be burnt alive, Stairmaster. Ooh, he's burning up. I hope he doesn't haunt me and my friends.
Revenge!
Oh no.
On Swanson! And his friend!
Wait. What did I do? I didn't even have anything to say about this.
No, his other friend! Jay!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that other voice, of course, you're hearing is my co-host and quirky friend who loves skateboarding off roofs, eating worms.
I'm a real crazy guy. I've got some fun commentary to say at the very inappropriate time. I'm a sociopath, folks.
You also, now that I'm thinking about it, you also just sort of disappear from the show.
I wasn't needed for the plot anymore.
You just sort of leave at the end.
So that's people just leave.
He might be in the stands. I don't remember, but
a lot of people are in the stands. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, most of the game. It's a big game. It's the big game.
Football, the game of kings.
Yes, true. That's what they call it. Anyway, welcome to another exciting edition of TV Tuners. It's a spooky episode this week in honor of the spooky time.
In honor of
Halloween.
Saint whoever.
Saint Hollow.
I guess.
Yeah. Is Halloween a saint? Is there a saint involved with Halloween?
Like
I thought it was like the opposite.
I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. Fuck.
Halloween is a deeply sacrilegious pagan holiday that I don't support.
As opposed to Christmas.
Yeah, I support Christmas, which is the celebration of the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
What if Christianity just decided to co-opt Halloween? What would be the justification, do you think?
It was like the night that Jesus had like a scary nightmare.
You mean where he's in the desert and he's tempted by Satan?
Yeah, even though that's supposed to happen the day before his crucifixion.
Nuh-uh, according to the last temptation of Christ.
Which is basically the Bible.
The highest canon.
Yeah.
It's true. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, everything Martin Scorsese does is the Bible.
Yeah. What about you, Keo? Have you seen anything lately?
Oh, okay. We're just going to get right to that.
I'm the host now.
No, I didn't watch anything this week.
Okay.
Stare?
Oh, did I watch anything this week? Yeah, I watched Jigen Daisuke, the Lupin the Third live action movie that Amazon just put out.
Okay.
Without telling anyone. Okay, so
how would they market this?
Imagine John Wick, but he's got a revolver that sends people flying back dozens of feet when he shoots them.
Okay. This doesn't really sound like Lupin the Third.
Oh, yeah, it's Jigen, his friend with the hat.
Okay, that does sound like him.
He's on a vacation to Japan because his gun stopped working, so he's finding the world's greatest gunsmith to fix it.
He has to fight him to get him to fix it?
No, it's a
Isn't that like
find
business? Oh,
Locate.
find him.
Yeah.
So how'd this movie go down? Did it make you smile?
Yeah, it made me laugh and cry. But it didn't make me cry. It made me hoot and holler.
This is a good movie.
It's a great movie, except for the middle part, where it's all the plot and talking. I'm like, get to the killing.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
I hate when the movie does the talking. Unlike the movies of Martin Scorsese.
Yes. That's a tune-in from me.
Well, I have one exception, and that's when a movie interrupts the plot to have two characters have the same conversation.
You love that, is what you're saying?
When did that happen?
Yeah, like when someone talks to like their mom.
Oh.
And the mom's like, I have cancer.
No. No, thank you.
I like when two characters have a conversation that one of the characters already had previously.
So, like, exposition for the audience who's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not really important that the other character knows this information. Like, it doesn't change anything about the plot. It's just that these two characters are having a convo, and this thing comes up, and they're like, "Yeah, this."
I like when it's been a while since a character showed up on screen, so they put their name on the screen.
Well, I will forget if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that to tune in?
Yeah, it's a tune-in.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, guys, it's spooky, and so I got a couple spooky selections and one non-spooky selection.
A little bit of pumpkin spice.
You could say.
In the podcast.
I watched a new Hulu release titled "No One Will Save You."
Oh no!
Well, that sounds scary.
It's a spooky little alien abduction movie.
I don't like that.
That's a terrible situation to be in. I would hate to be there.
Yeah, my heart goes out to those people who suffered the aliens.
I mean, not being
saved.
This
is it's an alien abduction deal. The lady in question is ostracized from her small town, and so she has to sort of fend off the aliens by herself when they come for her. The conceit of the movie, the sort of gimmick, if you will, is that because she's ostracized from her town, there's very little spoken dialogue in the movie at all.
That's kind of neat.
It's fun. It gets a little convoluted in terms of... I don't know if convoluted is the right word. It tries a little too hard with the gimmick when she goes into town and like people just don't say anything to her. And this is me, I think. This is a me thing. But if I were in that situation... Well, I mean, if I were in a situation where I'm at my house by myself and aliens start invading, I would be talking to myself. Saying some stuff like, I don't know, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I'd be saying that, you know?
So this sort of sounds like last week's movie, Inside, starring Willem Dafoe. Except with Willem actor instead.
Yeah, and if aliens were involved.
Yeah,
I like how your reaction to this scenario is the same kind of thing you do if your car broke down.
Oh, I'd be like, oh no,
Well, what am I supposed to do, Keo? Sit and think about why there are aliens here?
I'd probably like be questioning my own sanity a little bit more
real?
than that.
In the situation that she's in, there's not really a chance to question your own sanity because these aliens just immediately try to capture her. Well, I think first they try to kill her, but then they try to capture her.
Okay, I might be asking, what are those? What's that? What's
what
going
are those?
on?
What are those?
You're recreating memes from years ago.
My man eating beans.
I would be like, who are these guys?
Slender Man's having some of my bologna.
When it's focused on just like the thrills and the horror of being in that situation, it's a fun movie. But it when it's trying to like explain why there's traumatic event or why she's been ostracized from her town or what trauma she's dealing with,
don't care.
Yep, it's just not. It doesn't work for me, honestly. And that's on the movie because I don't think I'm a broken individual. At least not in that regard.
Okay.
But if you do think Swanson's a sociopath, hit us up at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com.
Listen, I'm sure I'll feel plenty of emotions when I watch Killers of the Flower Moon.
Now available in theaters.
Anyway,
and IMAX.
I would give it a light tune in if you like light horror movies. As for my other horror offering, I watched everyone's the hit horror movie of the beginning of this year, Skinamarink.
Oh.
So what, huh?
Experimental horror movie.
Podcast.
Kyo, we have to record.
You have to.
Oh, that sounds scary.
Use noise removal on the background audio to make to isolate your voice.
Kyo, put this mic into your mouth.
Wait, so it's just like an ominous voice that gives you like helpful tips?
No, it tells you to kill yourself.
Tells you to stick a sharp object into your eye or some shit. Also, you're a child.
In a room or something.
Yeah, so this is a experimental horror movie where most of the horror comes from images being shown to you that don't quite jibe with what you're used to. It's a single house that the film takes place in. You don't see. It's two children who are stuck there seemingly forever. It's hard to say. Their parents are gone. They're confused about where their parents are going. Objects enter and leave the house at certain moments. There's a harrowing scene, I guess harrowing, where the toilet disappears from the downstairs bathroom.
Oh, no.
And the children are too afraid to go upstairs because that's where they encounter like the ghost of their mother. It's a creepy movie. I don't know if it really works for me because a lot of the way it's set up is through long shots of just like a TV playing old cartoons or like some Legos while you hear like rustling and like moving around.
Put the Legos
so it's
on
great
the floor, Kyo, and step on.
It's great at creating an eerie.
Oh, no.
It's great at creating an eerie sort of atmosphere, but it doesn't really do much in terms of like keeping me invested. Not for me, but if what I just described sounds cool to you, then yeah, go ahead. But for me, it's a tune out.
That's a tune out for me.
Yeah, the creepiest moment of the whole thing is that their ghost mom goes into the closet and tells them to leave, and then they don't, and they just hear the crunching of bones. Unfortunately, that creepiest moment happens like 40 minutes into this 100-minute long movie.
What a waste.
I think that's mainly my problem, which is that I don't know how long I can handle two children sort of whispering out of fear about what's happening to them when they don't understand the situation. But 100 minutes is too long. So I don't know when the limit is, but it's under 100 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like 90 minutes is definitely the golden number.
I mean, there's a reason that creepypastas aren't longer than 15 minutes usually.
True. Like imagine
but it's
an episode of a Netflix TV series about the back rooms. 45 minutes of that. Just
oh my god!
Oh, there's so much yellow in here.
Yeah, it is kind of like
buzzing?
that, honestly. Replace the yellow with blue, and that's pretty much.
Oh, that's one of the that's like one of the variants.
Oh man, how am I going to get out of these back rooms?
But yeah, tune out on Skin and Rink.
Did you
The last
know there's
thing,
like
not
3
scary at
separate
all.
Wikis where they write collaborative backrooms lore.
Dang.
It's sort of like early biblical stuff where there's overlapping canon and contradictory canon. It's kind of fascinating to look at.
They've got some kind of official backrooms beverage of some kind, if I recall correctly.
Are you positing that in thousands of years from now, the backrooms will have become a religion of some sort?
Yes.
It definitely will. Yeah, it's called almond water.
No, that's like part of the lore, is that there's a beverage that gives you, that's like a healing potion you can find.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
this is the official beverage.
It's not merchandise.
This shit's got Phoenix Downs.
Oh yeah, you can't actually buy it. Yeah, it's not a real
or
product.
You'd have to go to the back rooms to get it.
Sounds like I don't want to go there.
You don't, like, this is just the only thing that will give you some comfort in the back rooms. Everything else will
There's also
be
liquid
unpleasant.
pain, which will kill you if you take enough of it. Or I think it gives you a fate worse than death.
Yeah, why would you take that much of it? That's what you want?
Yeah, so I want to I want to see what a Netflix writer's room could do with this wiki content. See how badly they could bastardize it.
You wouldn't know it was called The Backrooms until episode 9 of 10.
There's a floor in the back rooms that's just an unending bathhouse, which is very comfy, except for the fact there's a waterborne bacteria.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No thanks. I refuse to go in there.
It's not even like a supernatural bacteria. It's just something that came in from the front rooms and spread there. The front rooms is what they called our universe.
Stairmaster's been really diving deep into the back rooms lore. I was not expecting this.
I guess it's very convenient that I watched something adjacent to this.
It's oddly captivating, okay? We all have our guilty pleasures.
No, I'm not judging you.
Be
I
glad
think
that
it's
it's this and not some sort of unforgivable pornography.
Yeah, true. Although we don't, the jury's still out on that being one of them. Speaking of guilty pleasures, Rick and Morty's back.
Speaking of unforgivable.
Oh, I saw people in the TV Tuners Discord talking about this. The official Discord for TV Tuners that you can visit by going on to our X, formerly Twitter page.
Oh boy, I don't know if we should. We should just make like a Blue Sky account or something.
You should make a Blue Sky account.
I don't run the social media.
I don't run the social.
Are we still talking about those interns?
No, they've long since died. They work for Elon Musk now.
They're posting on the Twitter account still, but they're no longer loyal to us in any way.
No, I think they work exclusively for Elon Musk.
Yeah, they do. Although they do seem to at least be supportive of Palestine, which is surprising.
Yeah, I don't think he knows that part. Of course, we should remind people.
Char Aznable.
Which is also not very surprising.
Yeah. When you think about it, Char Aznable would never tolerate Elon Musk.
When you think about it, Israel is sort of like the Tetons.
Yeah, okay. Elon Musk, of course, as we've mentioned before on the pod, short for elongated Musk.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, Rick and Morty's back, and I thought it was important to bring that up because, as we have discussed before on the pod, Justin Roiland no longer part of the show, rightfully so. So the new voices are here, and honestly, if I was not aware that something had happened to kick him off of the show, I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, they were not particularly difficult voices, I don't think.
Well, I feel like they could have hired Swanson to replace him.
I don't know if I do a consistent enough job to be Rick or Morty.
They would hire Swanson to do a Patrick Warburton impression.
Whoa, hey.
Hey, Morty.
Hey, Morty, you remember that time?
Remember that time we went into space?
Hey, Morty.
Hey, Morty, it's me, Rick.
Gotta go get me Cube.
Wrong show.
Hey, Morty. Remember the time I told you that life was meaningless and to kill yourself?
No, Bushworld Adventures is the highest form of canon for Rick and Morty.
But they did hire two different actors to play Rick and Morty, so I'm the two episodes that are out so far, the new season, they don't really do a whole lot of back and forth Rick and Morty action. So we'll see how that plays out, but it could potentially help it.
It's so over.
Instead of just one guy being in the studio talking to himself.
Pfeiffer says it's good, and I trust Pfeiffer because he gave us money.
It is pretty good. It retains the quality that I had enjoyed of the last season. The two episodes so far have been pretty good. It also seems to confirm my theory, or at least the theory that I had heard on the internet, and that Justin Roiland had long since been banished from the writer's room of Rick and Morty, because nothing has changed writers-wise. Writing-wise, I mean.
Yeah, he sort of just took an Elon Musk sort of approach to managing things.
I mean, that seems to be the case, yeah. Anyway, I would give it a tune in. A light tune in, I guess, because at this point, if you're not watching it, you're never gonna. You shouldn't bother.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Give it up. You're not watching Rick and Morty.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna turn on the Adult Swim app, and you're gonna watch Smiling Friends.
I'm surprised they've never convinced Jonathan Banks to do him and Dan Harmon have worked together before.
Yes.
I'm surprised he hasn't been able to show up as a Rick and Morty cameo.
Can you imagine if in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul they revealed that Mike was an avid Adult Swim viewer during that time period?
Like, it's one of the late night scenes where he's just waiting for something, and he's just watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
He's watching C-Lab 2021.
Well, it's 2008 Adult Swim too, so he's watching the OGs.
He's watching Bleach.
You don't want to do that, Ichigo. Why don't you let your friend Chad handle this?
Oh, what a damn shame.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna unleash your Bankai.
We had a guy. Eisen was our guy. Then somebody stabbed him. Now I don't have a guy.
Here's what's gonna happen, Chad. You're gonna get a new power-up. You're gonna fight one guy and win. Then after that, well, you're gonna fight another guy. And this guy's gonna beat you. He's gonna beat you bad.
In 3 panels or less.
And then you'll never win another fight again.
Never get a fight again. All right, I'm sorry everyone for that. Anyway, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's tuning out of the podcast as we speak.
As you
but
know,
if you're listening,
hates Bleach.
Yeah, as we know, everyone hates Bleach. If you're listening and you have any quips, comments, foresights, otherwise, why don't you head on over to our email address and send them to us. We'll read them aloud on the podcast.
That sounds crazy. Right. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can do it. Prove me wrong and do it, or prove me right. I mean, go over
prove you wrong and don't do it.
Well, I mean, you should prove me right. tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email address, Kiorein?
What's the email address, Stairmaster?
What's that email address, Swanson?
tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. That's right. And with all of that out of the way, folks, it's time for the news. There's news. I regretfully must inform you that there is, in fact, news.
Oh, what happened?
Actors are still on strike.
No, that too.
No. We're not qualified to discuss those matters. In fact, it seems as if no one is.
Okay, so America is like the Earth's Federation during the events of Hathaway's Flash. And Iran is sort of like Mufti.
So this is that new style of political commentary where we just make Gundam analogs and describe it in that context?
Yes.
Anyway, the actors are still on strike, as you of course know, and things have been getting a little hairy. They've had their meetings with the AMPTP, and they decided that they were going to leave the negotiating table after a couple of meetings. I'm not sure what the strategy is here with the studios because they already caved to the writers, and the demands from the actors are mostly the same. Nonetheless, they started
hurry
spreading
up and solve this. I want my TV shows to be produced again.
Which TV shows, Keo?
All of them, all the ones that are affected by this.
Can you name?
No, I can't. I cannot name a single TV show.
Oh, okay.
Even ones that he's watched to completion.
When's the next
Yeah,
season
like
of
Barry.
Bleach? The 1,000-Year Blood War.
Well, that one's unaffected, actually. Anyway, the AMPTP has decided to do some odd
well, we in the biz like to call it lying.
Yeah, they've done this thing where they decided to start spreading some lies, saying that some of the higher-ranking members of SAG-AFTRA were unhappy.
Okay, listen. I don't like this terminology. I like to use the term strategic falsehoods.
You don't like this term, this blunt term called lying for the thing
you're
that they're
poisoning
doing where they don't tell the truth.
Poisoning the well.
So yeah, apparently they tried to attribute words to these incredibly public-facing individuals.
Yeah, it was.
As if they would not make comments to the public.
Yeah, it didn't go super well.
So yeah, Al Pacino said it's cool as Gab now.
Pretty much. It was a thing where.
Mind if I do?
Sites like Variety and Hollywood Reporter and other rags that sort of work as arms of the studios released news like press releases saying that George Clooney, Scarlett Johansson, and Tyler Perry, among others, were restless and trying to pressure SAG-AFTRA to get a deal.
Well, yeah, I'd be restless too if I was unemployed. Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, immediately after that, like the very next day, George Clooney decided to donate $150 million of his dues to the actors' strike. Along with
you don't go for John Cusack. Maybe someone.
Sorry, it's not just George Clooney doing the $150 million. It's everyone that they listed. So George Clooney, Tyler Perry, Scarlett Johansson, Emma Stone.
You don't go
Ben
for
Affleck.
a character actor or something. Maybe Danny DeVito, someone the public won't really care.
Oh, you don't go after Danny DeVito. That dude is militant. He'll show up at the studios with a gun.
Yeah, I ain't part of the Directors Guild. Actually, the Directors Guild sold out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, shame on them. Shame on you, Danny DeVito.
Betrayal.
But that's not the only story here, of course. That was just the biggest one and most embarrassing for the studios. They eventually did come back to the negotiating table. This Tuesday they started negotiations, and they have let me just look at my notes here. Nothing has happened. It would appear that the main impasse, from what I've read, is that the CEOs of the entertainment companies do not want to offer a cut of total streaming revenue for the actors. And you could argue there's a couple reasons for this. One, they're greedy. Two, they suck. And three, and perhaps the one that we are going to find out very soon is maybe the most likely, the streaming revenue is almost non-existent. I'm starting to become of the belief that either they don't want to reveal how little streaming makes, or that they simply do not want to offer any, or that it makes so much money.
I think the first one's probably true. I think that streaming is basically pivot to video, but on a grander scale.
That seems to be my understanding of the whole situation. And it could be the other way. It could be that it actually makes so much money that they don't want to share it. But yeah, I'm getting the feeling that there's no way that they're going to be able to share in the profit without taking a loss.
Wait, didn't the writers get a deal on that?
Yeah, and that's why I think they don't want to offer the same deal to the actors, because then they'd be paying two ways.
Mm.
They did offer, and this is, I think, hilarious. They did offer an improved bonus for, quote, the most watched streaming shows, as well as higher increases in minimum rates.
Oh,
so they won't tell you what the most watched streaming shows are, because that's one of the things they don't want to do to the actors, is let you know what the viewing numbers are. But they will just say, hey, here's a list of the most watched ones. Oh, sorry, buddy, your show isn't on. No, sorry. I know your show seems popular because everyone talks to you about it. No, sorry, it's not on the list.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch Hunters.
Sorry, Al. Apparently
they're going to fight Hitler this season.
He's back?
Yeah. Somehow Hitler returned.
They fly now?
They've been flying for a while. It's like World War I.
No, I'm thinking like Hitler with a jetpack.
Oh.
How many of these streaming services are publicly traded? Aren't they? A lot of them.
The companies that own them are, but they're not required to share viewing numbers.
And they can always just lie about how much money they're making.
True.
Oh yeah, I was talking about revenue.
I mean, the CEOs also have been lying to their shareholders about how these talks have been going, by the way.
Yeah, I think some funny things are going to happen in the media industry soon.
Yeah. Soon it will all come crashing down. And we'll have
like haha funny or Joker funny.
These days there's not that much of a difference. At least
I think it'll start as haha funny and become Joker funny, much like most of the world.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I can't wait.
Anyway, Joker 2 coming out as soon as the writer's strike is over, or as soon as the actor's strike is over.
I can't wait.
I actually think they've stopped filming that, so it can come out anytime, probably, but... Anyway, that's it for that. That's it for the news. Actors' strike still going. Just pay these damn people already, right? What are we waiting for? If the automotive industry can finally get off their ass and do it, what are we waiting for?
Yes, give George Clooney another house. He was so delightful and Burn After Reading.
Yeah, why not? Let George Clooney buy another alcohol brand.
Let him buy Pepsi.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
We can call
That
it
might make me
Clooney.
drink Pepsi.
Well,
This is an
people
important
consider-
question I don't think we ever asked on the pod. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. Yeah.
I support the Pepsi Corporation.
Yeah, but which tastes better?
No, I don't care.
Wow. At least tell me you can tell the difference, right?
Coke is a little sweeter. I guess.
No, Pepsi's a sweeter one.
Is it?
Pepsi's like, obviously they got the sugar up in that bitch.
Kio supports the Pepsi Corporation because they make Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah, I like
his most coveted drink.
I like it when my drinks you can actually see through them. I don't trust drinks that I can't see through.
Yes. I'm a Coke guy, but not because I drink Coke, but because I drink Sprite, and Sprite is better than whatever the Pepsi version is. I don't remember its name. Starry? Is that what they call it now?
It's called... did they get rid of the Sierra Mist product?
They did. They changed it to Starry because Sierra Mist was made with like real sugar, and Starry is made with artificial.
Oh.
With a high fructose corn syrup?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sprite is not that good if you get it from the McDonald's soda fountain.
What do you mean? The spicy Sprite is great.
They have some kind of like special mix for their drinks at McDonald's.
They add a little sprinkle of like the McDonald's salt that they put on fries. They added into all the drinks.
I think a warlock cursed them, the McDonald's Corporation. They probably
I don't know what you're talking about, Stare. The Sprite in a McDonald's machine is like a mecca of like it's the most carbonated soda known to man.
It always tastes off to me.
Huh. I don't know. I feel like it's always like extra bubbly.
I think
as if it was a witch's brew.
I think I've read something about McDonald's actually having a different formulation for their drinks somehow. But I don't know, maybe I'm just consuming dangerous misinformation off the internet.
It's possible.
Okay, according to Google, Pepsi does have slightly more sugar, but it also contains citric acid, which makes it tangier than Coke.
Taste the tang.
Apparently the public thinks that Sprite tastes better at McDonald's.
Yeah, I think I'm in the overwhelming majority on that.
History will vindicate you, and I will be killed in the streets like a dog.
Yeah, you'll be hung from the rafters of the McDonald's, and used to fuel their soda machine. It turns out the secret ingredient to their soda, blood.
See, that's why I don't trust like brown drinks. Like they could have blood in them or whatever kind of other nasty fluid.
Yeah.
That's also why you don't like Pepsi Cherry.
Yes.
Because this looks like blood.
Yeah, it is blood.
Well, it's not even just a cherry. It's a wild cherry. So they picked these things out of like a bush.
Like they just went out in the wilderness and like did hunter gatherer for this.
Like it's not. I like the idea that they had a meeting and they were like, "This cherry Pepsi is a great idea, guys." And they're like, "Well, we need like I don't know if people want just cherry. What could we think of to? How about wild?"
Now I'm thinking about like anthropologists writing papers about how hunter-gatherers had an easier time getting soft drinks. So much more free time.
Like wild cherry to me has the same vibe as Cool Ranch. No one's quite sure what the distinguishing factors are between the two, but they are better.
Hey Keo, what came first?
It could be the
cherry or wild cherry? You stupid bitch.
Wild cherry.
Is this like a chicken or the egg situation?
In a sense, yes.
Anyway, we have a show. Or that's it for the news.
Yeah, now it's time for the past.
I had one quick comment there. It's possible the exact same marketing team came up with Wild Cherry and Cool Ranch. It's the same corporation.
Oh yeah, wait, is that true?
Isn't it? Isn't Doritos the same thing? It's like the same company as Pepsi?
Think, yes.
It is now. I don't know if it's always been. Is that?
I think it's been like that for a long time.
Well, someone can email us next week and see if we did the research.
We did not do the research.
We won't look this up.
We will never know.
Anyways, now we did the news. It's time for the past. Here's a television show we watched yesterday.
That's right. We watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it. Also, yes, Keo, you are correct. They've PepsiCo's owned Frito-Lay since the 60s. So long before Cool Ranch.
Yeah, so whoever's in the marketing room is just like, they want to add a second word to their flavors.
We watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it.
That's right.
Goosebumps is a revival, or reboot, rather, of the classic children's book series that follows a group of 5 high schoolers as they embark on a shadowy and twisted journey to investigate the tragic passing 3 decades earlier of a teen named Harold Biddle, while also unearthing dark secrets from their parents' past. It's a different approach from the original Goosebumps that came out long ago in the mid-90s. Did this Goosebumps leave you afraid and scared, or did it make you a quirky teenager who's having a great time, apparently, despite all of the trauma?
Hang in there, Swanson. I'm praying for you.
Thoughts and prayers?
This is what I would call average core. Perhaps mid.
Oh, here we go again.
Should we mention that on the TV Tuners Discord that Keo so helpfully mentioned, brought up earlier on the pod, there was a discussion about this very subject. Where
turns out I'm right.
No, I mean, not necessarily. There was a Zoomer who talked about this, and then the Discord, and
that's right, Julian,
as they described it
on the Discord, our resident Zoomer,
self-proclaimed. So we're not like, this is not.
Well, I can confirm. I know them. I can confirm.
Okay.
I've seen their birth date, their birth certificate.
You had to make sure all the documents were in order before proceeding, whatever it was you were doing.
Well, yeah, to make sure that they are in fact the resident Zoomer.
Okay, go ahead.
But they said they can confirm that mid roughly translates to not as good as people suggest or below average.
Which is
what Stairmaster said it was.
Yes.
I thought Stairmaster said it was like average.
No, that was your
not below
argument.
average.
No, I'm saying it's mediocre.
Yeah, Keo, your argument was that it would be middle of the road average.
No, that's not. No, that's not.
You think average is a good thing. I think average is a bad thing.
Okay. This is not what I said. You guys are putting or ascribing the wrong thing to what I said. What I said was, when people say mid, they just kind of mean bad.
Okay, so Q is like Oz. And I'm the space colony rebelling against the Earth.
Wait, am I missing what this argument was about? I thought you were saying that they should say, when they say mid, they should say that it means average, is what they mean.
Right. That's what I would think it meant. But when you actually hear it in language, it's...
Mid is short for middle.
Okay, so...
It could mean median.
All right, so when you say middle, when you say this is medium, do you mean like it's medium or do you mean it's below medium?
Well, if you take the TV Tuners statistics into account, median is actually bad because the median for the amount of shows we watch that we tune in and tune out of is tune out.
So I guess it does mean middle. Which it also means bad.
I'm gonna get a gun and do a mass workplace shooting.
Don't say that.
No, too soon.
So anyways, in a time before Fox News at least, we go to the past with this lonely teen in his house in the middle of the woods.
Oh yes, this is the titular Harold Biddle, who is he's a brooding '90s child who's listening to grunge music and going about his day, just walking directly into puddles because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care.
Did you guys read Goosebumps when you were small lads?
Yes.
With your little
Oh
propeller
yeah, that's a
hats
good
on?
question actually. Not only did you guys read the Goosebumps, because I think everyone's at least read one, right?
I loved reading as a child. It expanded.
You've never read one, Keo?
I feel like I haven't.
Not even to Choose Your Own Adventures?
Definitely not.
Okay, well, did you watch the show?
No.
Okay, so you have literally no frame of reference for this at all.
I've seen the introduction to the show. Intro.
Like the old one? Where like
Yeah,
the guy has
I
like a
think.
briefcase and it like flies open or whatever.
I think.
That's like the only thing I remember about the show.
I
to
never
be
saw
honest.
the Goosebumps show.
I think it's we're all
I
roughly
might
the
have
same
seen-
age. I think it ended like right around the time that we would be like late 90s is mainly our pop culture zenith point.
I might have seen it, but I didn't see it.
Yes. I remember there was like a haunted doll that came up occasionally.
Yes. I remember reading a book about that in Goosebumps.
Oh yes, the Goosebumps books. I don't recall any particular ones that I read, but I do remember that this was the only book series that if I was reading a couple of pages and I wasn't feeling it, I'd just skip to the end and move on.
Wow.
I never did that with anything else.
You wouldn't just like stop?
No, because I wanted to figure out like what's gonna happen here. Because I knew the Goosebumps always had like either like, oh, they managed to make it out somehow, or it's like something twisted happened at the end.
Like some Twilight Zone stuff happened, or he turned into
Yeah,
a
where
rock.
it's like it turns out to serve man is you're getting eaten.
I might have read maybe one Goosebumps book, and I thought it wasn't scary or something. I'm vaguely having this childhood memory.
Well, they were written for children.
Keo's sitting there while all of while all of the people around him are like playing, and he's just like, "This isn't scary at all."
I mean, I wasn't like snobbishly reading it. I was just like, oh, this is just kind of like a little story. And I read it pretty quickly. How long were these books?
I think they're supposed to be. I think they're like not long at all. I don't know the length of the general Goosebumps books, but they are for children. I think most of them are like 100 pages.
Yeah, so I read through this book pretty fast, if I'm remembering correctly, and it was in fact Goosebumps, and it left no impression on me, apparently.
Yeah, R.L. Stine was cranking these bad boys out for like a long time. Not a long time actually. It was sort of a Drake method. He was not there for a long time. He was there for a good time. He did in the span from 1992 to 1997. He released 62 Goosebumps books.
Wow, that's like a Johnny Toe. Well, now Johnny Toe's still going, but that is a lot. Is what I'm saying.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Slappy the Dummy. I think I read one with him in it.
Yeah, that's one of the ones there.
I think I got the impression that since there were so many of these books that they were low value, and
True.
I mean, yeah, I think that's part of the idea. I think.
they were low value and not really worth my time as a child.
Oh, this is the most 90s thing that I think you could think of possibly, which is that not even taking a break from the end of the Goosebumps series, which is that it ends in December of 1997. R.L. Stine's like, I'm not done yet. Starts Goosebumps Series 2000 in January of 1998.
He wanted more money.
Writes 25 more of those until January 2000.
Oh, and he also had a series called Fear Street.
Oh yeah, I think that got turned into a series of middling Netflix movies.
What? Everything's turning up Netflix.
Yeah. Anyway, the point being that we're familiar at least with Mr. Stine and his series of books.
I mean, we are. We were when we were children, but that was 3 decades ago.
Yeah, we've put 3 decades ago when we were born.
Yeah, 9/11 happened, and that sort of overrid our memories of it.
I'm trying to delve into my deepest memories to think of. I saw something on TV that I think was Goosebumps related a long time ago on Cartoon Network. I think.
No, it was
the
on
movie.
Nickelodeon. It was
on Nickelodeon. It was one of the two because I didn't watch anything else.
Yeah.
Oh
what
yeah,
was
they
it?
did play.
What was this?
They played the TV show, I think, on the Nickelodeon back in the day.
Yeah, they definitely put the reruns in the middle of the day.
Or are you thinking of Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was sort of Goosebumps-esque?
Oh, that might be. That probably was Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Although I think Are You Afraid of the Dark was creepier, especially the intro with like the little ambient hand coming out, lighting up the title.
I don't recognize this. Maybe I did see this. Is this related to R.L. Stine at all?
No.
I don't believe so.
Well, there's spooky stuff.
Yeah, I mean that
For
part.
teenagers.
That part is related. But yeah, we see Mr. Biddle here, and he's an artist. He's doing his drawings and whatnot.
What song is he rocking out to?
I didn't hear what actual song it was. I just assumed it was like some generic grunge. Was it something noticeable?
I don't.
Was it like Nirvana?
What it sounded like. I watched this yesterday and I've already forgotten what the song sounded like. Sorry.
I mean, it was early 90s, so I was guessing it was grunge music, probably. It'd be great if he was just listening to, like, pop music. Oh, no, he was listening to R.E.M. I remember now.
Oh.
So not
Let's
grunge.
see. Goosebumps is a Canadian-American horror anthology television series based on R.L. Stine's best-selling Goosebumps book series.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Every October from 2007 to 2009, Cartoon Network aired the episodes.
Oh,
okay, so yeah.
Cartoon Network.
I don't know how long ago was that.
A while
I remember
ago.
around 2007 they stopped airing Dragon Ball Z, but would like put the movies on like a Friday night once in a while.
Yeah, I remember that. Fun fact about Are You Afraid of the Dark predates Goosebumps.
That's crazy.
Ran from 1990 to 1996, the original run.
Why are people wanting to scare these children? They've got enough things to deal with. They don't need to be scared.
Well, not in the 90s. They had it easy.
Yeah. Well, it was a
yeah,
premiere.
true.
It was a premiere sort of program for Snick, which was like the older Nickelodeon programming block. If you remember Snick.
They really had some marketing wizards back then, didn't they?
What should we call this? Snick? Yeah, that works.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, what else? I don't have any other ideas, and it's 4:00. This cocaine isn't going to do itself. Anyway,
All right, I guess we should probably talk about this actual program, huh?
Yeah, Mr. Biddle, he gets scared by a ghoul, and he gets set
Rest
on
in peace.
His house gets set on fire and he dies. And we're like, wow, crazy stuff, man. And we cut to 30 years later, and there's teenagers. And we see our all of them at once. It feels like
our up and coming, soon to be adults of the latest generation here. These freaks.
Yeah, there's this guy. He's a quarterback. There's his friend who is non-binary, I think.
Maybe.
There's a guy who is like a weirdo. He's like our first introduction to him is he comes flying off of a roof and breaks his teeth.
Yeah. Well, he's got like a little bloody gum. It's fine.
I thought it was kind of funny as an introduction, but then he just doesn't do anything the rest of the episode other than be weird.
Yeah, you should have a mouth cast on or something.
Or it's just like do something involving the plot. But it would appear that the idea for this show, at least based off of the next couple episodes descriptions that I looked at, is that each of the main cast sort of has a Goosebumps situation happen to them. So like this one has this camera guy situation happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess that mask that we saw in this comes into play next episode or something.
Yeah, don't care.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why I should listen. This show, Stair referred to it as mid, and I would agree. My problem mainly is that this show. A Disney production that, oddly enough, is being released on both Disney and Hulu simultaneously. Odd move. This show suffers from quirkitis. Well, previously, what I would refer to as Whedon dialogue, but I feel like we're far enough removed that his influence is pretty much just poisoned the whole well of writing.
I don't think it's that bad, but... There's a
Swanson
reason
has
they're in charge of the recaps.
Swanson has a choice example for you, Stair. That'll make you understand what he's talking about.
I actually do, which is later in the episode when they're having when they go to the haunted house. They have they're getting ready for the party or whatever, and the guy's girlfriend says like, "Didn't the guy burn alive down in that basement?" And the quirky friend is like my bagel this morning.
Okay. Fuck
which, if someone said that to you in real life, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you? What?"
That's like some mid-aughts Flash cartoon writing. Like,
and his friend responds with, "That's right. Then. You're correct. It's like that." And
yeah, so this program that's supposed to, I guess, maybe try to make us take the horror aspect of this seriously, couldn't give us a single moment of them taking something seriously.
Right, and that's my problem with when I define something as having quirkitis. It's that it is so focused on the jokes and everyone being funny little machines for giving quips that they don't bother to make sure that there's stakes. A kid breaks his arm in this. Well, I mean, a kid burns alive at the beginning of the episode. And we're just like... and I get it, teenagers are shitty and they might be capable of doing something like that. But... making a crass joke about it. But, like... I don't know. The show seems to just play it as a gag. It's not like anyone's horrified that he said that. No one's like, whoa. We're talking about a guy who burnt alive.
Okay, and even if there are people who act like that in the real world, maybe, you don't have to make them the protagonist of your TV show. You can write whatever you want down. So right. If you want me to sympathize with these characters or care about following them, I don't want that to be their reaction to hearing about somebody tragically dying in the place they're at.
And I'm not saying there shouldn't be jokes in this, but I need there to be a balance. There needs to be a balance, and there is an imbalance, hence the itis of the whole thing.
Is a teenager Stairmaster? Go on.
He was a teenager, just like them.
Yeah, they should feel something. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they previous to this.
I think the best way you could do it where somebody makes a joke is if they're doing it just to like cover up how freaked out they are about it, maybe.
Yes.
But they didn't play it like that at all. They played it off like he just didn't like it didn't even register with them. He's just like, "Oh yeah, something burned? That sounds like my bagel this morning."
Right. And all you really need is like one of the three characters to be like, no, that like actually happened. He's being serious. Something, some sort of stakes. Give me something where the situation is messed up and people seem to understand it. Because this guy, when they go into this haunted house to have a party, because they can't have it at this lady's house, which is the premise here. He goes down into the basement to turn on the lights after they go off to find like a breaker. And some spooky shit happens to him, and he just goes back up and he's like, whoa,
Woohoo! Ahoo!
there's some creepy stuff going on, but first, teen drama. I should tell you about the weird stuff that just happened, but first, let's focus on me not telling my girlfriend about another lady that I talked to.
Now, if I recall, the original Goosebumps was episodic. There'd be one spooky thing. There'd be one spooky story, an episode.
Yeah, it was like an anthology, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but as you might recall, Stairmaster, nothing is allowed to be episodic anymore.
Nobody seems to remember that The Sopranos was episodic.
Yeah? For a little bit.
Yeah. That would just have stuff contained to itself.
Wait. So, okay. The original Goosebumps had the same characters you were following, just something different each week, or it had new characters each week?
No, I'm just saying that you don't have to do serialized stories for literally everything.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be episode 1 covers plot point A, episode 2 covers plot point B, episode 3 is filler, episode 4 covers plot point C.
No one complains about Treehouse of Horrors being too short.
Yeah, they just got to get through the bit and then it's over. That's all you want.
But yeah, they
I don't care about this will they or won't they between Isaiah and Allison.
Well, this is another problem of the itis of it all, which is that when you have everyone be the quirky telling a joke person, then no one stands out. And so it's hard to be invested in these characters. But yeah, they the quarterback guy has a little spat with his girlfriend. They have a party. They decide to pick this haunted house because one, his dad has the keys to it that he can just take.
Yeah, he's a contractor.
And two, the party, they were going to have the party at her house and she wasn't able to or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
previous to this, we get introduced to Justin Long's character. Everyone's favorite guy, back again. He was like the guy of the mid 2000s, and then he just
died.
Yeah, and now he's back. Keo, you might remember this guy as the. You remember those Mac commercials, Keo?
Oh yes, those Mac commercials made me very, very furious as a young lad.
Well, this is PC.
Oh my god!
Or no, he was Mac, right? Because Mac was the cool one.
Mac was the one who was cool and correct, and the PC was the bumbling idiot who conceded every point to Mac. Yes,
right. Yeah, he was Mac. This is Mac. Is this guy who inherits the house?
That's crazy.
Of course, he's been in many other things. But he's sort of having a renaissance, I guess. and he's here now because I guess he had like a big role in a horror movie recently. I forget which one, but people were giving him rave reviews for his work in it, and he's here now as a quirky teacher. Can you believe it, guys? He's quirky.
That's crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, he
doesn't stand out because everyone else is quirky.
The only reason he stands out is because, one, he's Justin Long, and two, he's older than everyone else.
I guess Isaiah's dad isn't quirky.
Yeah, he also doesn't do anything. He has a mild. I think we see him having an argument with his wife for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's where they establish they're in tight waters, money-wise, and they're depending on Isaiah to get a sports scholarship.
And it's pretty much just like, hey, wouldn't it suck if something spooky happened to you that caused you to not get a scholarship?
I hope nothing scary happens at the end to ruin everything.
Yeah, I hope nothing mildly creepy happens. And I do mean mildly.
Yeah, I think that demons are mildly creepy.
Yeah, but what if they're demons that you make up in your head?
That's the creepiest kind, honestly.
I guess it's true, yeah. Demons that only you can see. That's pretty creepy. Nathan Bratt is, I guess, a distant relative, and he inherits the Biddle house. So I guess the implication here is that somewhere in the span of 30 years, there's been other Biddles who have held the house, and then they just all died. Like the oldest one just passed away and was like, "Here you go to my cousin." Because there's only one person. There was only one person in the house when it caught on fire.
He's like an anime protagonist, an anime character who lives on his own.
Yeah,
but still goes to high school.
I also like that. Did they mention if the fire was like contained to just the basement or something? Because the rest of the house looks mostly the same.
I think it said that he got trapped in the basement, which was on fire, and that's how he died.
So
at least when the kids were talking about it.
His dad's a contractor whose job was just to renovate the basement of this 30-year-old house.
Where we later find out his friend died, or at least someone he knew, and that he was partially responsible for.
Yeah, because they keep implying that there seems to be like some sort of like not Friday the 13th, some sort of Nightmare on Elm Street situation where they all might have been involved in the burning. Because extreme
scary.
Teenager guy's mom also seems to know some stuff about what happened with the death of this kid.
Yeah, I'm scared, guys. This synopsis is making me feel real spooked, guys.
Real spook. Hey, you know what was spooky? Remember that time that he took Isaiah took a camera with him, and the camera showed him things that were going to happen.
But
yeah, that's really scary.
Like his friend getting an allergic reaction.
Everyone thinks he's crazy, but he's not crazy.
It's kind of weak that they're just.
Oh yeah,
he's dies.
Able to. Yeah, it's like these grim prophecies are people who could have died but didn't actually die.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I feel like Goosebumps was not afraid that
it would have hit harder if she just if. I have no idea.
Well, they would drag, like turn him into a rock.
I feel like the Goosebumps books were never afraid to just like kill a child.
You feel like that, or you witnessed that, Swanson?
I mean, I feel like the books were just like, this child has suffered a horrible fate. I feel like the original book, like the first one, ends with like a kid getting murdered.
Well, this is like on-screen death. Usually, there's like They put a curtain around that.
I guess that's true. I don't know how often kids died in the Goosebumps show.
Is this show for children that we watched?
Yes.
Yes?
Sort of, I think, for the most part.
There was a joke about humping at some point.
I think it's perhaps for an older audience than maybe the original
teens
Goosebumps
like
was.
hump.
Are we allowed to say that to children nowadays? What has happened to our society?
What has happened to our society?
Kio's trying to bring
Talking
back
about
the
humping.
parental chip that you put in your,
No, I
put in
mean-
your streaming service, and it turns out all references to like humping to like praying.
I'm serious though. Like, you would not be permitted to put that into children's programming.
Kio, wait until I tell you about a little show called Ren and Stimpy.
What a gross show.
Ren and Stimpy was gross and there was innuendo, but they did not just talk about humping.
I think they did just hump.
You remember Two Stupid Dogs, that one episode where they're
But-
trapped in the Grand Canyon and they're yelling at their own echo? That's sort of what Goosebumps would do. Like something bleak like that, but not really visceral.
Yeah, true.
If they did humping, it was like they had like a cat doing it, so it's different than having a child talk about how they're doing. I don't know. There's very different vibes there, I think.
Yeah, I think this is for an older audience than the original Goosebumps was for.
Yeah,
Hence
this is
why
for 40
you can
this
say
is for
shit and
40-year-olds
also
who-
hump, apparently.
This is for the 40-year-old millennials who want to feel nostalgic about brands.
They can say the S word, they can say the H word, H being hump.
Yeah, I'm watching a video of Ren and Stimpy where
They have sex?
Ren. Well, no, basically yes, they're having sex. Let's see. Ren is the little hairless one, right? Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah. He. This is a very classic scene from Ren and Stimpy, which is ostensibly this is innuendo, but this is like pretty ridiculous. So Ren has a saw, and it's like he's got a belt, and the belt has the saw strapped to his front side where his crotch is.
Oh no!
And so basically he's got a big saw for a penis poking in front of him, and he's like all right, Stimpy, we got to cut this wood. So he puts the wood on Stimpy's back and cuts the wood by thrusting his hips back and forth.
Yes, okay, I recall this.
And Stimpy is just given like these really powerful orgasmic faces as this happens.
And you would say this visual gag that essentially equates to doing it.
Congress. Of the sexual manner.
Sexual congress. Well, I heard you can't have sexual congress if you don't have a speaker present.
And they're definitely having sex in this scene, and it's pretty crazy they were able to put this on air. But I think they got away with it by not using any explicit language.
Yeah, you're gonna say if they said, "Oh, Ren, you're humping me,"
Or
it would have
like-
been worse.
Or if he's like, oh fuck!
Well, that would have been bad. Yeah.
What is something people like to say during sex?
I think literally yes that that this scene is fine because it's just innuendo. But if they actually said a word,
If
that was
Stimpy
naughty.
was like, "I'm giving it to you, Daddy," it would be bad.
You're serving cock right now. you know, people will say that about someone if they're like looking good, but not if they're actually having sex.
Stimpy, you're absolutely serving cock.
Which I just find interesting.
When is this from? This can't be from the act. This is ridiculous. This must be like newer.
No, I think I don't remember. I've seen that clip before though, and it seemed like I don't know.
Yeah, you're allowed to put in jokes that only the parents will get.
I think that's... I don't know. I think a child would find this, like... would see something that was very off about this imagery.
Yeah, but they wouldn't understand, so it's fine. And it definitely wouldn't, like, put any seeds in their subconscious that as the neurons make new associations would develop into something very sickening.
No, probably never.
Even when they finish cutting the wood and the saw goes limp.
So you're saying it would be bad if after that happened, Ren would have something where he'd be like, "Oh, Stimpy, why'd you finish inside of me?" That would be bad.
Yeah. That would be going too far.
Okay.
Do they
notes?
light up cigarettes after?
No, this is crazy. Stimpy asks after Ren begins to walk off, "Don't you want to stay and cuddle?"
Okay, yeah, I remember this. I think
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, we got to do something about this. I have a feeling that the creator of this show is no good.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Just call
okay.
it a hunch,
This is from Ren and Stimpy Adult Party. That's what this is. Okay. When did this happen?
This was like the Spike TV one that they did, I think.
Yeah.
Later after.
Shut up, Keo.
Okay, look. I thought for a moment this was from the original program, but as I watched it, there's no way.
Anyway,
So I think this is what Swanson was talking about too when he was talking about humping, most likely. So I think we just had our minds poisoned by this later addition.
I don't even fucking know what we're talking about anymore.
We're talking about Goosebumps. He sees his friend have an allergic reaction and he notices it's from the photo. He starts freaking out. My favorite bit of these freak out moments is when he goes to talk to his one friend.
Who nearly crashes his car and blames it on him.
Yeah. And his friend is like, you made me crash you made me get a scratch on my fully loaded Rubicon. Which is an insane thing to say.
Also, nobody watching the show could afford that car. Come on now.
Yeah.
You're completely out of touch.
Or he's a little rich boy. A little rich person.
Well, yeah, by definition, if they got a rich
car. It seems like the majority of the people that we follow in this show are affluent. Which I guess good for the kids. Little Nepo babies.
Bad for me, though.
Yeah, he gets freaked out when he sees that the next photo is him with a badly broken arm. And so, in one of the funniest, I think it was unintentional, maybe. I don't know if I was supposed to laugh at this, but I did. One of the funniest things is that he just decides to smash the camera, as if that's going to solve the problem.
Hold on, did we even do a rule of 3 here?
No, because it's just this, and then it's his friend getting an allergic reaction, and then it's the arm. So we don't have a third one.
Wasn't there a bit about his girlfriend being ambushed in the woods after the party? By Bill?
No, I think that's a separate spooky thing that just happens.
Oh yeah, he doesn't get a photo of that or anything?
Because he only finds the camera after he gets his backpack back later.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, he just he smashes the camera and then I think lights it on fire. Like that's gonna solve his problems. Like they'd already told you what's gonna happen, bro. What do you worry? Like, what?
Yeah, the camera.
I get it. You know, this isn't exactly the most smart. What? Sorry, what?
The camera does not have any. The camera is not calling the plays on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, it's not exactly the smartest. He's not exactly the smartest guy. As evidenced by having to have his friend help him cheat on a history test. That's how you know he's not smart. But he he seems like very satisfied with himself when he does it, which is what I think is funny, because he sets this camera on fire and he's like, yeah, I showed you, yeah. And then he plays football and immediately breaks his arm. Like, not immediately, but he breaks his arm.
After having to go fight like all the guys from Doom.
Yeah, he sees all of the football players as like burning monsters. And he freaks out.
There seem to be extra guys on the field too, trying to bite him and tear him apart.
He sees that the camera is still like, it comes back, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'll let them take me back onto the field to play the last half." What's the worst that
he's
can
not
happen?
like, "Hey, could you put someone else in?"
Well, he tries to do that, but
no, he plays. He does not insist on leaving.
There's like a
pressure on him.
He could pretend to get hurt too.
But you see, he's got to get a scholarship. It's the big game.
Well, yeah, because if he pretended to get hurt, then he probably wouldn't actually have gotten hurt.
He said there's going to be scouts there, which I think he already showed off for.
Yeah, because it's near the end of the game when he gets hurt, I think.
I think it's at least the first half was already over. Okay, here's the thing though. If you want me to feel like something that's kind of scary, I don't want the fear of the scene to be like that peer pressure is scary. I want it to be like he had no control over the situation anymore. Which is kind of where this got weak. Is that like he had a prophecy warning him of what was going to happen, and he decided that he wasn't going to do his best to avoid that. He just like.
Well, the show seems to be telling me
still there.
Yeah, the show seems to be telling me that man has no control even over his own will. But it doesn't seem like it doesn't make me feel like that's true.
Yeah, because for one thing, they were able to avert somebody dying because she just had an EpiPen. It was fine. But
the picture was just of her on making a face.
Well, yeah, like having an allergic reaction.
It was just giving like a very like generalized prophecy that wasn't really even that ominous. But he's like, okay, if I play this game, I'm going to break my arm. So I guess I'll go ahead and do it.
And then he does break his arm. And
he also doesn't want to be seen as crazy by his peers.
I mean, he already does seem to be like that because he runs around the field going, "Ah!" before breaking his arm.
And this is where we find out that the parents seem to know more than they're letting on, because one of them sees the demons, or at least sees Biddle on the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's like, stop the game, and they don't stop the game.
No, they don't listen when people say that, usually. And yeah, he breaks his arm. His parents meet him in the hospital, and they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna be out for the rest of the season." He's like, "Oh no, my scholarship!" And they're like, "Yeah, this was They don't actually say it, but it feels like the implication is like, "Yeah, you really screwed everyone here in this family because we were really relying on you to pay off our debts." But yeah, the prophecy is fulfilled here, and then the ending, like little teaser, is Justin Long goes to his home and is immediately possessed by the spirit of his relative.
Yeah.
So I guess he's going to be like an evil guy now.
Sure, why not?
Don't care.
Don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm not watching anymore. Anyway,
yeah,
maybe that was.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, what's our verdict here? What do we think?
Well, we're not the target audience. We're not weird offshoots of Disney adults.
True.
Who need to achieve catharsis through brand consumption.
Are we catering to that audience with this podcast?
That's what this show is for, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not the target audience for this, but
I don't think kids would enjoy this. Do you?
No. Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell what a kid would enjoy because I don't have.
Kids do not have taste.
Kids definitely have taste.
Not enough to discern.
Sarah, we watched Two Stupid Dogs as a kid. You gonna tell me that's a tune in on Two Stupid Dogs?
Like one season.
We watched Cow and Chicken, and then we rewatched it later as adults. You know what? That shit sucked.
How many seasons did Cow and Chicken get?
3, I think.
They got 4.
Same with Doug. We watched Doug. That sucked shit. I guarantee you if we watched the original Goosebumps, it would also suck ass.
Hold on. Mark Hamill was a guest star in Cow and Chicken.
Okay, yeah, he does a lot of things. Not on Goosebumps though. He was never on there. Anyway, yeah, this is a tune out. We're not the target audience for this, but also
we did like Guy and Weasel.
Well, yeah, I think that's like universally regarded as the best part. It's like when they had Grim and Mandy, and then that other show with the bear. No one cared about that show with the bear.
Evil Con Carne.
Yeah, no one cared about that.
I think they gave him his own show at some point.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what I said when I heard that?
Don't care.
That's what I'm saying right now, because it's the end of the episode and we've tuned out.
Oh, and it's bedtime.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's a tune out on Goosebumps.
And now we're going to all tuck ourselves in and cuddle together. Because
to the grave
we live
it
in
goes.
half a house. And winter's
here.
Yeah.
It's starting to get real cold here in Denver, Colorado, where we live.
Yes, that's right. It's very cold today. Chilly. Because we're on a mountain, as you know. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this week's episode of the show. But what do we, guys? You know, the Halloween season is over. We're moving slowly towards the end of the year. There's still some TV left to watch, though, and I'm getting word that no, Mr. Wick will not be part of this show, but he'll be mentioned maybe at some point. We'll see. Next week on the pod, we're going to be watching The Continental. Full title, The Continental, from the world of John Wick. If you've ever wanted to know what happens to the guy who runs the hotel for assassins, this is the show for you. So until next week, when we're killing people, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
Hey folks, time for the TV Tuners Denver Fact of the Week. Did you know that there's a prophecy that says the Stairmaster will die? And I mean soon, not like much later.
Oh, happy day.